Welcome to the second half of Sunday Newsline. As I was saying, a lot of things has happened there. I was just looking at the rugby match. Ireland anyway won the sixth Triple Crown, which are great results. Congratulations to them and fair play. I was just looking at it. It was a great match. And the score was they'll have to wait now the match till tonight. The score was 43-21. I really enjoyed it. It was a great match from start to finish, and they won another Triple Crown anyway. So well done to Andy Farrell and the men. They really outperformed themselves, and Scotland were good as well. I was just noticed. They kept it going, so it's a good Saturday to have this show on, which is Sunday Newsline. So I just thought I'd do it on a Saturday, and it's just going very good at the moment. And then Wales and Italy, that's 21-0 at the moment. The standing that match, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. And then the GEA, as I was saying, the GEA at the matches at the moment in Division 2, it's Cork 117, Kildare 1-3, and Meath 110, Tyrone 1-9, and Kerry 227, which is a massive score, and Mayo 16 points. So that's a massive score, which is really good. And then in the soccer matches, as I was saying, Bray won there as well. Uh, they won there last night on Friday. It was Bray Wonders 2, UCD 1, Cork City 2, Longford Town 1, and they were the results. Finn Harps 2, Treaty United 2, and Wexford 1, and Kerry. So, and then the tables, Cork out in front with 13 points, Athlone Town 10 points, and Bray Wonders 10. So Bray are doing fairly good at the moment, and it's good stuff to look at. And then the Premier Division, which the results then, the Premier Division in England, I mean, I was just trying to get the scores then in this. It's pretty convincing the who's going to win it. It's Arsenal at the moment. So the results then so far today it was Burnley nil, Bournemouth nil, Sutherland nil, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, and Arsenal that's to come at Everton at 5:30, and Chelsea at 5:30 as well. Newcastle United, West Ham United versus Manchester City, and that's at 8 o'clock. So that's a good. It's well into it, and the GA season is well into it as well. So I just thought I'd come back with a quick podcast. I've already done a little bit there earlier on, and then a little bit of news then thrown in. Iran, I see, threatens U.S. companies if energy facilities are hit. Now, that's the latest in the news in the war. Injuries reported after drone strike near a airbase in Kuwait. Two, two drones targeted an airbase in Kuwait. Three members of the armed forces sustained minor injuries after the attack. The base is near Camp Al-Farjan, a major U.S. facility. So that's then the latest then on the war isn't going away anytime soon, that war either. And then economical ramifications of Iran war puts pressure on Trump, it says. This was Jackie Falk who wrote a great article here in the Washington. He's a Washington correspondent, actually. She's a Washington correspondent with RTA. It just says one of the most powerful aides in Washington used to wake up most mornings at 3:30. Back in 2000, Ron Klain's early start was not to check intelligence briefings, news alerts. Then President Joe Biden's chief of staff was on the phone analyzing public availability gas price trackers. The Biden administration obsession with gas prices was found in Washington Post. 4 years later, Donald Trump is back in the White House, and the same economic barometer is now threatening his administration. It means the gas prices, it's not doing well for America economically. They're going mad at the pumps there in America, I see, when they see it going up and down, and they don't take too nicely. So with this president, it's not good for Donald here on this issue, as I was saying. And that's then on the RTE News, which is a big staple thing. I read it out every week, the RTE News and the Sky News. I have a bit of Sky News there. Actually, I have it opened. I was reading it early on when I was looking at the map. It just says Trump calls on UK, China, and others to send warships to crucial oil shipping lane as Iran threatens EUA ports. And then it just says analyze and locate US military Canal Island targets. And that's the latest then on this. And then it just says Tehran bristles after US bombs Koran Islands. But why is it so important for Iran? Now that is the question mark, and it's explained in this if I can read it. It just says uh, Donald Trump has said his forces carry out a bombing raid on Iran. The 5 mile long Coral Island, twice the size of London Heathrow Airport, is in the north of the Persian Gulf. And it just says President Trump said US forces obliterated military targets on Khan Island, but significantly said that he chose not to wipe out the island. Tehran warned of new level of retaliation if the oil infrastructure on Kara was damaged, vowing on Saturday that Tehran forces would destroy the oil and gas infrastructure of companies cooperating with US in the region if its sites were targeted, according to Iranian state media. So if that makes you plain and simple to you there, I thought I'd make it plain and simple. That's then on Sky News. That's the latest then on the war, which is the very latest. It's coming off the shelf, and it's not. It's the other war as well is bad enough, Ukraine, and then the Israel war. So it's very bad in the world today, and it's on Sky News. Sky News is a good update on this, and that then I just look at the Irish Independent News, which is a good indication as well of the news. It just says Ireland win Triple Crown after victory over Scotland as Andy Farrell's men await Six Nation title fate, which is a big if there, the more things. It just says the article there, if I can read the start of it, it just says the most things change the more they stay at home. Ireland are Triple Crown winners for the 15th time, thanks to a 12th consecutive win over Scotland, whose long search for success in Dublin would stretch into its 18th year before they get another chance to end the dismal record. So that's then what it says on the Irish Independent, and it then adds that's the front page actually. And then Donald Trump says military targets on Cal Island obliterated as Iran threatens further UAE attacks in retaliation. And then Sarah Casey writes an article there. I see President Catherine Connolly is gambling with Irish livelihoods by wading into foreign affairs. And that's a big statement there to make on that paper. So then it just says violent pimp John Cullen, who murdered 3 women in a horrific arsenal attack, dies of cancer. And then man in his 80s dies in hospital after being struck by bus in Wicklow. And this was a terrible story. A man has died. The man in his 80s, he was then transferred to St. Vincent's Hospital. An eyewitness who works in one of the retail units near the scene of the accident said the man was struck while close to the pedestrian crossing in front of the Cala ground. Garda are currently appealing to anyone who witnessed the collision. So that's then on this accident. I thought I'd read it out. I had it actually on earlier on in the news. I thought it was a terrible. It's a terrible news when you hear a thing like that, a bus accident and a tragic accident. Well, that's the way. So, Australian here, pass with a a quick news section anyway. I had, which is usually, I said I'd come back Sunday to do Sunday Newsline this week, and I did. So I just read out a couple of results and a couple of things there. So,